Am I audible? Can you hear me? Somebody is saying thumbs up. Can you hear me? Shubham Poddar ji saying pranam sir, pranam. Avinay Ishwara namaste. Suman Adak is saying Hare Krishna sir, pranam. Akshay Cole, yes, we can hear you. All right, that's great. Thank you, Akshay ji. I hope you're doing fine. Shubham Poddar is saying yes. All right, thank you. Poonam ji saying Jai Shri Krishna. All right, thank you. Okay, all right. That's great. Thank you everyone for joining. It's going to be a short session today on a very quick but very important transit. This transit is very important, if not the most important transit of the year, but one of the most important transits. Very, very, very important. We are going to discuss the transit of Venus, as you would have seen in the title and thumbnail, into the sign of Capricorn. And as I'm making this video, Venus has entered Capricorn already. So, as per New Delhi, 12th February, which is today, 5 a.m., Venus has entered Capricorn, Makar Rashi, and it will enter Kumbha Rashi, which is Aquarius, on 7th of March 2024. Okay, at 10:55 a.m. So till around the afternoon of, yeah, till noon, before noon of 7th March. Yeah, this is a like a short transit. Venus will be in the sign of Capricorn. Okay, now what the heck is going on in Capricorn? But even for Capricorn, you have to understand what is going on overall in the chart. Okay, so if you see the dispositor of Capricorn of Venus, which as you know is Saturn, is in the second house, right, from itself, which means the second house from any house is the gain of a particular house. Okay, so if a planet, if a lord is situated in a second from itself, then it's a very interesting placement, because it's like the planet is going into the gain in the house which will give gain to that planet. So when a planet's dispositor goes in the second, now as in the case of Venus, the dispositor is Saturn in the second from Venus, then this is even good not only for Saturn, it is also good for Venus. Okay, so this is a very interesting transit, because Saturn and Venus, they are very peculiar planets. No one, I mean, every student of astrology wonders why in the universe are Saturn and Venus friends. Do you think there's anything common between the two planets? It's exactly the opposite. All the traits, I mean, every single trait is opposite. But why are they friends? That's the question, right? And why are we discussing this today? Because, well, because Venus is in the sign lorded by Saturn. So we need to discuss Saturn and Venus today. All right. All right. So welcome everybody. Whoever has joined, please let me know from where you are joining. It's great to see people from all over the world joining. Only 40 people here, but I'm sure you are there from 40 countries. At least 10 countries. Let me see who is joining from where. All right. Where was I? Dikshit Prabhu is saying Guru Bhyo Nama. Pranam to my Guru. Thank you so much. I don't deserve to be anybody's Guru, but if you are giving me this respect, then I will pass it on to my Shiksha Gurus, as it's their credit, not mine. I'm just a normal person like you. Venki Durgam is saying Hare Krishna. Akshay Kol is saying Dhoni sir, namaskar, namaskar. Akshay ji. Praveen Kumar is saying good evening, good evening. In India, what's the time in India? It's quite late, I guess. Around 10:30. Okay, Venkata Rajan, Govinda Rajan is saying Hari Om Bangalore. That's great. That's great from Bangalore. Shubham Poddar is saying, sir, do you have some Jupiter Mercury conjunction? I wish I had. Ajay ji is saying, Namaste, Guruji. Namaste, Namaste. Chota Nala Bhim. Chota Bhim. Good. Good evening. Reena Goel is saying, Guruji, please talk to me also. Good evening. Good evening, Reena ji. How are you doing? What is that? Aditya. Namaste, Guruji. Venus and Saturn and Scorpion, fourth house. What is the impact related to job? Hmm. It could require some training from your side. Okay. But in general, it should not be a bad placement. Uh, from Bang, Chota Nalla Bhim is joining from Bangalore. God's Own Swing from Mumbai. Sea Breeze is from Seattle. That's great. Directly from Emily is joining. Greetings from Georgia, US. Thank you for joining from Georgia. Good to see that. Sunita Kanpal is saying Gurugram, India. That's great. Bhavya Modi is saying Hare Krishna Prabhuji. God is there. Yes, with you and me all the time. All right. Akshay is from Canada. Somebody is from Kuwait. All right. That's great. Thank you. We have some countries, not too many. All right. So, very interesting. What is the reason for Saturn and Venus to be friends? Now, if you see Saturn and Venus, they're very peculiar. Their relationship with each other is very peculiar. If you see, Saturn gets exalted in the sign of Venus, which is, I mean, seriously, in the sign of Venus. Now, Venus, Saturn gets Digbali in the seventh house. That's something we can understand, but gets exalted in Libra in the sign of Venus. My God, in the sign of luxuries. So it's a very weird thing, okay? But we need to understand why this happens. And on the contrary, Venus also does quite good in the signs of Saturn. Okay, quite good. Okay, not like super excellent, but considerably very good. Not bad at all. It does great actually. Okay, so Venus, as you know, is the planet of love, romance, pleasure, sexuality, and our experiences of the material world. And on the other hand, Saturn represents the teachings that we get from the material world. Saturn and Venus. So whenever Saturn and Venus are together, it's like you have experiences and you have lessons. Which means more the experiences and more the lessons. Interesting, right? So therefore, if there is if there are two best friends, Saturn and Venus, then I mean, if they are sitting together or they are mutually aspecting each other, okay, not when Saturn is aspecting Venus, when Venus is also aspecting Saturn, it's always a situation where you get a lot of experiences in life, experiences from your love life. Valentine's Day is on the corner and Venus has entered the sign of Saturn. Wow. Amazing time, no? But nonetheless, you have to understand, see, when a planet enters a particular sign, it is like you have entered a new house. So now what happens when you enter a new house? You are forced to behave as per the rules of that house, right? So you may have your own house, but if you go to your neighbor's house, you can't do whatever you do at your house, right? If you go to your relative's house, maybe you have some leverage, but at the end, it's like you have to toe to what they say, right? In general, of course. So this means every planet, and also if you go to somebody's house and they are discussing on some topic, you will also feel like discussing, right? Unless you are like totally disinterested in that topic. So this clearly means a planet, when the planet enters a particular sign, it gets influenced by the things which that zodiac sign represents, and it's kind of starts to identify itself with the traits of that particular zodiac sign. Now, what does Capricorn represent? Capricorn is actually the sign of Saturn. Now, of course, it is, but it is the sign of Saturn, which means it represents all the difficult things that Saturn represents, all the difficulties. Okay, but with perseverance, tolerance, and all this. And then the sign of Aquarius, which is also lorded by Saturn, that shows our gains actually, because Aquarius is the 11th sign, right? 11th house. So it shows gains which come after putting a lot of efforts. Okay. So this means that when Venus is in the sign of Capricorn, it is time to work hard. It is time to work hard. It is time to work hard. It is not the time to enjoy fruits of your actions or of your love life, of your relationships. It's not the time. It is the time to put in the effort. It is the time to put in the hard work. Now, hard work related to what? Related to Venus. Venus in general represents your relationships, but specifically, Venus will represent those houses which it lords as per your lagna. So, depending on your lagna, it will be decided which houses Venus lords, and Venus will give results accordingly, because the lordships will show the agenda of that planet. So, for example, if Venus is lording your 10th house, if you're a Capricorn ascendant, then something to do with the profession is there. Okay. So, even for Leo, Venus is the 10th lord for Leo Lagna, right? So, therefore, you need to understand that if Venus is your 10th lord, you really, really, really have to grind in your profession. If you are Leo or Capricorn, any Leo Capricorn ascendant here, please let me know. It's the time for you now to grind so that you get the results after 7th March. So now do not ask this question, what results will I get? Do not ask this question. Only ask one thing: what should I do in that area of life? So if Venus is your 7th lord, so if you are Martian ascendant, you are either Aries or you are Scorpio, then your Venus is lording the 7th. So then something to do with your marriage. So maybe you, if you are unmarried, you could start searching for getting married. Or if you're already married and things are not great in your marriage, then you need to ask yourself, what is that which I'm doing wrong? And the interesting thing about this transit is that you will not be successful if you just do things once. Okay, what does this mean? Because Saturn represents things which you have to do for a prolonged period of time. Prolonged period of time. Long period of time. Prolonged period of time. Prolonged. Oh, but this transit is only there till March. It's not that prolonged after all, right? Well, absolutely not. So, here is the important thing. Whatever is happening now, from today in Germany it's a holiday, but maybe in rest of the world it's not. Whatever is happening in your life, start from today morning. Just see. So do two things. See which house is Venus lords. Okay. So see where is Taurus, where is Libra as per your birth chart, as per your lagna, rising sign, your ascendant. Make a note of all the things. So every house. So if Venus is your 10th lord, as I said, profession, name, fame, power, position, status, leadership, authority, figures, your boss and all. And if Venus is like your 7th lord, then your spouse. So make a note of all the things. If you do not know what that house represents, please go to my Astrology Basics playlist and learn and see the video of that house. Okay, so I have videos on every house. So write 10 things that the house represents. All the 10 things. You can write 100, you can write 1,000, but at least write 10 things. Write 10 things which that house represents. Please, just at least 10. I'm saying at the least bare minimum. Write 10 things. And once you write them, try to see what are you doing in your life, which as of now, what are you doing? And then you see where among those 10 things, which are those areas where you have done very badly. in the recent, like, 6 months or 1 year, at least 1 year, because Venus will transit, every zodiac once in a year around. So you have to see last 1 year. So if Venus is your 10th lord, you are going to your profession, you are writing, just don't write career, it will not solve. Try and make it more detail oriented. So for 10th house, you should write your discipline, you should write your administrative capacities, your leadership role, your vision in life. These are the things you should write. Okay, so write 10 things of. Now you have to write 20 things. Why? Because Venus lords two houses. Okay, so 10 for each house. You write down, write it. See, it's, don't just blabber, don't just bluff. Okay, write it, just simply write it. Once you write, then rate yourself. Out of 10, you rate yourself. In the last 1 year, in these 20 parameters, what have I done good? What have I done okay? And where have I performed very badly? So, for example, if Venus is your 10th lord, check your administrative and your delegation ability. So, for example, if Venus is your 10th lord and you got some work from your manager and you are in a senior position, for example, you need to delegate your work to others. So, did you assign the responsibilities to your subordinates as per their talents and their interests? Were you good at delegating? Yes or no? Or did you encounter problems? Then you have to see, why did you encounter problems? Okay. So, suppose Venus is your Lagna Lord, then something to do with your health. Okay. How did you do in your health last 1 year? Seventh Lord, as I said, marriage. Don't just write marriage. Within marriage, there are 1,000 elements. Okay. Understanding, so many things you can write. Okay, you can also write partnerships. You can write so many things in the seventh house. You can write you can write how it's like a team building. Okay, team effort. You can, so if it is seventh house, if Venus is your seventh lord, don't just think it is talking about marriage. It can talk about something in your job, because the seventh house is to do with partnerships, and in your job you might require partnerships. So write 10 things. So fourth house, write down home, car, land, mother, your chest, whatever. You can write so many things. Fourth house is your learning. Fourth house is, education. Fourth house can also show mother, people who are motherly to you. Okay, and of course it shows your mother. So write down all the 10 things for every house, for both the houses. 10 things you have written, and then rate yourself from 0 to 10. Rate yourself. Immediately do it. Right, take a pen and paper and do it, because Saturn is the planet which gives you results based on your performance. You can't just say, oh yeah, I tried. You have to deliver results. Saturn is a planet of results. That is why he's lording the 10th house. Can you go to your job, to your profession, and you say, oh, dear boss, I put so much effort in my career, I did this, I did that, ye bhi kiya, wo bhi kiya, sab kiya, kuch nahi hua, nothing happened. So if you do everything in your profession and then you go to your boss and say, oh boss, I did everything, I spent 3 full years of my life to this work, to this position, but at the end I was not successful, I didn't achieve anything, please give me a promotion. Well, who will give that, right? So Saturn is a very brutal planet. Should I repeat? Saturn is a very brutal planet, and that is why he lords the houses of name and fame. See, it's very intriguing for astrology and astrologers and students of astrology. You have to understand, 10th house, they say, is the house of name and fame. Surya is the Karaka. Shani is also the Karaka. Buddha is the primary Karaka. Some astrologers also say Jupiter is the Karaka. So either you take 3 or 4, but it's a very tempting house. 10th house, name, fame, power, position, authority. Ooh, I'm viral, I'm famous, right? But you do not get these things for free. So this means you have to deliver results. Focus on delivering results, because otherwise you won't get rewarded. You are not, see, That's the difference between Jupiter and Saturn. You have to understand. To some extent, Venus and Saturn are in one category because they are Asuric planets, right? Which means they are in that Asura gang. The Suras like Jupiter, Sun, Moon, Mars, they are the Suras, right? And then we have Mercury, Venus, Rahu, Ketu, Saturn. They're in the Asura gang. Okay, so Asuras are not concerned with how much you work. Asuras don't give a damn. You work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 20 hours. Asuras are like, I want the results. Mercury, where is the money? Where's the money? Mercury is that typical sales job, and oh, go get money, sell it, sell it, sell it. Do cold calling, send emails, do this, do that, do this, do that. Bring in the money, bring in the clients. That's what Mercury is. You cannot tell to salespeople, oh, just try, yeah, if somebody buys, it's good. Then otherwise, it's fine. Anybody in sales here, raise hand, please. You go out in the morning and you tell your boss, oh, I met 20 people today, but nobody purchased, nobody bought the product. And then what do you think? Your boss will give you a hug? No, he will fire you. Right? But Jupiter, Moon, these planets, they will not just bless you for your results, but they will also bless you for your efforts. Like, if you go to your mother and you say, oh, I tried my best, I did everything, but still I could not do, please forgive me, then she will forgive you. Of course, unless she's very toxic and she's very narcissistic and she's not a crooked person, disclaimer, then she will most likely forgive you. Your father will also forgive you. Okay. Similarly, your guru, Jupiter is the guru. You go to your guru and say, "Oh, Guru Maharaj, I tried my best." You go to God. Jupiter is God. You go to God and say, "Oh, I tried my best. I did my spiritual practices, and at the end of my life, I could not remember you. Please help me. Please protect me." Then God will personally come and take you back to the spiritual world. God will not tell you, "You so what? You did your best, but you could not remember me at the time of death. So what? That doesn't matter. The only thing matters is if you remember me at the time of death, which indeed is very important." But you have to understand, the Asura planets, they are only going to bless you if you have results, which means your approach should be very result oriented. Now, of course, this is to a large extent contradictory with the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, because the Bhagavad Gita says, do not think of results, work for it in a way, because that's your duty. Like Arjuna was a Kshatriya, so Krishna said, it is your duty as a Kshatriya, as a king, to punish these crooks, the Kauravas, headed by Duryodhan, Shakuni, Karna, and all this. Okay, Duryodhan and company, it's your job to punish them. If you don't, who will punish them? Okay, so therefore, you have to understand that this, the malefics, especially like Saturn, Venus, they want you to not only work hard but also bring in the food and the money. Okay, so whenever and wherever, anytime, any planet anywhere is transiting in a sign lorded by Mercury, Venus, or Saturn, which are the signs? Venus lords Taurus, Libra, then Mercury lords Virgo, lords Gemini, then of course Capricorn and Aquarius. Whenever any planet is transiting these 6 signs, which is half of the horoscope because there are 12 signs, you need to deliver results. Otherwise, nobody cares for you. So your approach has to be very methodological. You cannot do things because you feel like doing, or you cannot not do things because you don't feel like. Okay, so please understand, write the 10 things for both the houses. You have these 20 factors, and then you rate yourself. You need to rate yourself out of 1 to 10. Do a performance review, and whenever you are seeing something is going below 6, then that's serious. You need to check where, what blunders am I doing that the rating is so low. And if you feel you cannot do the rating, go to that person So for example, if Venus is your 10th lord and you have written all this, the 10 things, if you can't rate yourself, go to your boss. He or she will rate you much better than you. If Venus is your 7th lord, then go to your spouse and ask, oh, can you please rate me in all these 10 factors? Is it zero or minus? Right? So sometimes you getting positive or zero is a big achievement, in career or marriage sometimes. Nonetheless, so if you can't, go to your spouse and do a performance review, or you can do together. So according to me, there are these 10 points I rate myself in the first criteria as 7, as 6 or 5 or whatever. And in the second, your wife or your boss, your husband, or anybody, your child, Shani fifth lord, children. Okay, so you need not do this literally, but please do it. Please do some performance evaluation. Please do some risk assessment. These are some, some fancy terms which you may be hearing for the first time. Some of you, if you are not into job life, but you need to understand that these malefics will, they won't give you things because you worked hard. You need to prove yourself. You need to, it's like, see, whenever there are asura planets, it is like a battleground. Even for Venus and Mercury, it's a battleground. Why think, can you just not do things just because it's their natural benefits? Oh, their benefits, they will give you a good ambience, but you got to work hard, sir, my dear madam. You got to work hard. So do this evaluation and see. Do not think of results. I am warning you, do not think of results. Do not even ask this question. What will happen? Nothing's going to happen. But what I can ensure you is these 20 days, what's today's date? 12th. So till 7. So 25 days. If you can do a proper assessment of the two houses that Venus lords, you are set for the rest of the year, I am telling you. You don't need to do anything else. Just these two things you have to do. You have to find out the 10 factors for both the houses and rate yourself. Well, but that's only the beginning. So once you do this, then you have to see how you can improve yourself. And try to find videos in YouTube, try to read books, try to consult somebody, try to find some senior in your company, try to find some senior in your family who has a good marriage, try to find some friend who is doing good in that area. You don't have to go to astrologers all the time. First, when you have a problem in life, try to seek good guidance within your family. Okay, then try to seek guidance from that person who is specialized in that area. And then if that also fails, then you can go to an astrologer, okay, to see when things will change. Okay, so therefore, please understand, this is a very amazing time to know your weaknesses. Okay, and if you do not find your weaknesses, your enemies will find it. Everybody has enemies. Every freaking house has enemies. Do you know that? Because every house has a sixth house from itself, right? Every house has a sixth house from itself, right? So for example, eighth house is the house of death, right? Eighth house is the graveyard, the smashan, right? Now, who is the enemy of the graveyard? Who is the freaking goddamn enemy of the eighth house? Who? It's you. Because if you go 6 houses from the eighth house, you will reach the lagna. Lagna is you, your body, your life. When you are living, it's like the death, it's like the enemy of the graveyard, right? So every freaking house has a sixth house. Seventh house, the enemy of the seventh house is 12th house. Secrets. You keep secrets in a marriage, it's a matter of time. Your marriage is going to be finished. Okay. So understand that every house has an enemy and every person has an enemy. Every freaking person has an enemy because every house represents a person. So therefore, If you do not, sixth house is your weaknesses. So if you do not find your weaknesses, then your enemies will find it. And when enemies find your weaknesses, oh boy, that's it. Matter of time and checkmate. It's over. So please understand that you need to find your weaknesses and work on it. There is no consolation prize. When the asuras do not give you consolation prize, only the suras will give. Okay. And now a planet is asura, which is Venus, going into another asuric sign like Capricorn. That's it. End of the story. No consolation. No free lunches. The asuras don't give you free lunches. Like Mercury shows, corporate events. You have to be a part of that corporate job or that business. Only then you get the lunch for free, right? You just don't get it. You can't just bang inside a corporate event and say, "Oh, it's my time. I want to have something," right? But you can always go to your guru's ashram and ask, "Is there something I can eat?" Right? You can always go to your mother, to your father, and ask. So that's how it is, right? The asuras, no free lunches. So please understand that Saturn and Venus are both asuras and they will give you lessons. One shows your experience, this I'm repeating, and the other shows your lessons. So Venus is experience. You experience the material world and then you get lessons. Now, when do you get lessons? When you are frustrated, when your desires are not fulfilled. All right. So Saturn, in that sense, is a very important planet for spiritual growth because it gives you frustration in life. Saturn, if there was no Saturn in this world, nobody would come to spiritual life. Most of the people, 99.99999% of the people who come to spirituality only come because they had been in distress in some point of their life, or they are now in severe distress. As Lord Krishna says in the Gita, four categories of people, Artho, Jigyasu, Artharthi, Jnani. Nowadays, there's only one category: distress, 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 distress. There's the only one category. There are no four categories. There are no Jigyasu, right? They want to know the truth. They want to know the power of God. Inquisitive. They want to know. No, nobody wants to know. They just want some relief. Because the people of Kali Yuga, they are called as backbenchers in the scriptures. Okay, what are backbenchers? Backbenchers, no studying, no education, just bluffing, blabbering, and wasting time. Okay, so therefore, Kali Yuga people, the planet which is responsible to bring you to spirituality, is rarely Jupiter. Very rarely you will find that a person says, "Oh yeah, everything was just perfect in my life. I had this dream ideal life, and then I thought, still there's something missing. I need to go to God." There are some people, I know somebody like that, but very rare. It's like out of one, as Krishna says in the Gita, na manushyanam sahasreshu kaschiti yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam. He says, out of 1,000, one will be like that who will aspire. So if there are 1,000 people in a group, you will find one person will be there who will say, "Oh, I would like to come to God to know more about Him, to elevate myself." But rest 999 will be only coming to God if there are some serious problems. Otherwise, they're least bothered. They're very happy with their materialistic achievements and so-called pleasures. Okay. So therefore, during this transit, if Saturn is ripping you off from something and he is giving you some pain or suffering, don't see it as a curse. See it as a blessing. Now, of course, it's easier said than done, but try to see it as a way by which you can go close to God. Okay, that will solve 99% of your problems. All right. Thank you so much for joining. So that's it from the side of the video. If there are any questions or queries, I would like to see them. Uh, what is that? Bhavya Modi is saying, you are always looking at him. I hope so. I hope to look someday. The unicorn. Hello, sir. My Venus MD, Sun AD, both are in 12th house. Well, don't keep secrets. Be open. Get rid of duplicity. Abhinay ji saying natal Venus in Capricorn, natal Sun is inside. Natal Venus in Capricorn. It's like the checklist is never ending. The performance review never stops related to the lordships of Venus. So for you, it's even more important because now it's like the examiner is here. Okay. Now, where's the checklist? Show it. Sunita ji saying Ram Ram ji Ram Ram. Bhavya Modi is saying from Bangalore. Okay, that's great. Manshu Tuteja ji has retracted the message. Achyut is saying my Venus 7th house of Libra 9th is related to marriage. Well, lordships of Venus. Okay, that is important. So see that first. Yogesh Ghimiri is saying কেনেকুৱা খবৰ আপোনাৰ মোৰ খবৰ খুব ভাল আপোনাৰ খবৰ কেনেকুৱা he's saying this in Assamese so I'm replying Srishti Singh sir I'm from Mumbai oh that's great thank you for joining all the way from Mumbai I have a combination of Sun Saturn Mercury Venus in the 10th house of Aquarius okay that's good great for profession indeed Shweta Chaudhary Capricorn ascendant, I already said. Gitu Kumar. Fight with spouse just started after this transit. Oh, peaceful for the last few months. Well, please sort it out. All the best. What if God's own saying? What if Venus is Lord of first house and 6,000? Taurus Lagna. Something to do with your health, appearance, your overall physical, mental well-being. So it's you and your health basically. Angela Beers is sending flowers. Thank you. What is this? Sirshendu Bhattacharya for Cancer. Well, as I said, go to your ascendant and see which houses Venus lords. Okay. And depending on that, you write 10 things. Okay. So for Cancer, please tell me which houses Venus lords. Okay. Where is it gone? Possibly saying Jai Shri Krishna. Tony James is saying Capricorn is very serious sign. So if a man have Venus in Capricorn, his wife nature is very serious. No, absolutely not necessary. The planet in the sign does not show your spouse. This I have said a million times. I will say it again. So for example, if your sun in Leo does not mean your father is like a very dominating person. I mean, there could be some issues with dominating each other or with Capricorn, too much money minded sometimes but not necessarily that the husband's nature will be his wife's nature will be very serious no absolutely this doesn't work Dikshit Prabhu is saying Venus in 9,000 the birth chart see I'm saying again and again do not see where Venus is placed see where which houses Venus is lording okay please don't do the mistake okay Lavaji is saying Jai Shri Ram Swati Kumari is saying Jupiter and Saturn in 9,000 versus has a lower degree. Anything positive. Again, don't see it as positive, negative. Okay, try to learn the lessons. Then it will actually help you. As I already said, see which house is Venus Lords. I'm seeing it again. Achuta is saying it would be zero for me. Oh, you mean the performance evaluation? In some areas, even if it's zero, at least not minus, it's a big achievement. But yes, you can improve and you need to improve. It's the domain of the asuras. It's not the suras. You can just smile and get things. Okay, you need to work hard. Immigration removed Venus transit in Capricorn help with children birth. Capricorn is in the fifth house. Yes, it could. Depending on the husband and the wife's dashas, it could. Yes. Bosa Pani is saying hello from Cleveland, Ohio. Ah, okay, that's great. Always be grateful. Always very grateful for your knowledgeable videos. Thank you so much for joining from Ohio. Good to see you. Lava ji saying my Venus is again, and Venus Lord of fourth and 11. What is the impact of this current one? something to do with education and gains. Could be property. If Saturn Mars dasha is going on, it could be something to do with vehicle property. If Venus dasha is going on, it could be something to do with vehicles. But always something to do with network circles. Are you networking properly? Why are you networking? Okay, so you need to check all this. What is this? Namaste from Latvia. Green minded. Oh, that's great. Nice fruits. Thank you. QT on the road is saying Saturn Dasha and Venus Antar Dasha. Well, what should I say? It's more important for you. Now, the Dasha lords are coming in this examiner mode, so do it's more important for you. Lavaji is saying Guru Dasha running currently. Okay, still, this will impact everyone. All right. Oops, where is it? Where are the commands? Okay. Sare Sati also going on Venus in Virgo. Venus in Virgo, you might have a tendency to be too much obsessed with the results, which is again not good. So work in a way that you get good results, but you don't have to be too much in anxiety. Okay, that is not nice. Saurabh, they is asking my Venus is in 10th house Aquarius and Saturn. What it means? Well, I don't know which houses it's lording, so I can't answer. Abhishek ji is saying hello from Bangalore. Hello, my seventh lord, my Darakaraka is in my first house, Scorpio. Okay, okay. So make sure you don't lose yourself or your spouse by see if the Darakaraka is in your lagna, then it can happen sometimes you go into the extreme, like you do everything as your spouse says or your spouse does everything as you say, so both are not healthy. Okay. Aarti Anuja is giving birth details. Please, 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 humble request, do not give your birth details in open or in YouTube comments. Please, I will remove this. Sorry. Not good for you. Starry eyed. Yes, Jai Shri Krishna, Babajit's Jai Shri Krishna. Really thankful for your videos and explanations. Thank you for being a beacon of light during dark times. Thank you for watching. Okay, somebody has retracted the messages. Then my Venus ruling second and ninth house. Ganeshan ji is asking something to do with finances and especially learning. Ninth house is learning. It is your gurus, your guides, your counselors, something to do with elders in the family. Madhulika ji is asking, hello from California. Venus in the fifth house. Will it impact on my career? I need a job. Well, as I said, I'm repeating again, lordships of Venus, not the placement. But if you need a job, then try your best, and along with it, you can do the 6 weeks money remedy. That will surely help you. Okay. Abhinaya ji is saying Venus Dasha is what is that? Saturn Antar Dasha natal Venus. See, we can't just magically interpret, for example, you said your natal Venus is in Capricorn. So, of course, for you, it's very, very, very important. Okay. It's more important. So, see the lordships and you can then understand what is going on. And of course, if you're Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius, Venus is a functional malefic for that chart for you. So, Venus is in your second house. So, of course this can bring some challenges related to finances, or you need to know where you are losing money. That's very important. Okay. All right. Abhishek ji is saying thank you for your advice. Thank you. Tatiana ji is saying Hare Krishna. All right. Immigration dream. My Venus is in Lagna in Capricorn. How would this impact me? Well, it's not about the placement. Am I being understood here? It is about the houses that Venus lords. Okay. Please do not make that mistake. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Great to talk to everyone always. Wish you all the best. And I hope you make the best use of this time and you can actually do some performance evaluation. Okay. For the houses that Venus lords in your chart, not the placement of Venus. All right. Always remember it. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram.